Hey everybody, it's Dr. Cara and I am here with your monthly forecast using my Animal Wisdom Oracle card deck. And this card deck is really special because it's based on actual conversations I had with individual animals in each species, and usually more than one individual of each species. And I kind of synthesized their messages down for the cards. But the energy of these cards for me is really palpable, really powerful, very, very present, and very clear. And the cards also give me a direct connection back to the animals that are associated with those cards. So one of the things I've been doing for the last few months here is changing things up with my monthly forecast. And I used to pull 3 cards and kind of interpret the cards intuitively, of course. But the last few months, I've been actually channeling a message from the animal on that card as a reminder for the month of what's going on, things to be aware of, what we should kind of keep in the forefront of our mind, a message, a reminder, an inspiration, that sort of thing. So I've been shuffling these cards and just really connecting in and asking the animals, what do we need to know? What messages do we need for the month of May 2021? And who wants to come forward and give it to us? And I'm not totally sure how that's going to play out. If I will channel a message directly from an animal, if I'll pull a couple of cards, I'm kind of in that great unknown of just seeing what's gonna be present, and when I'm gonna feel that feeling, which I just did. So my fingers are like, no, this is the one. And let's see, it's the horse. So the horse, I'm immediately hit with, as I look at this, the word partnership. The energy of the horse is all about partnership. And in the United States, we have had over, especially the last year and certainly the last several months, a lot of discord, a lot of disunity, a lot of separation, a lot of polarization. And what really strikes me is the partnership, that the horse represents partnership in a really beautiful, synergistic way. The horse and the rider are, they become one together. They're very, very different, right? Like the big, powerful horse, the smaller rider, the meeting of the minds, the working together, the joining forces. And what really comes forward for me as soon as I see this card is that we, and I'm speaking for in the United States right now, that's just what's really, really present for me. It's time for partnership. It's time for more partnership. Partnership is the answer. So instead of, I just think about all the words that are going around in the conversations: inclusion, diversity, equity, justice, and all those kinds of words. What really needs to happen, and the shift that I'm feeling in this country, is that we are moving towards a better partnership. And in a partnership, you don't expect everybody to be the same. In fact, when you're on a team, you want different people with different strengths so that you can become stronger together than you are separately. You don't want a bunch of, little Lego people that are all just stamped out exactly the same. You want everybody who brings a different perspective, who brings different strengths, different trainings, different education, different backgrounds. And that's what's really coming forward for me with this horse card, is that partnership is the way forward. Partnership is, certainly for the situation in the United States right now, what's needed. But also on, what's happening on one level is happening on multiple levels. So it's being played out on the big stage in the United States right now. The the lack of partnership, the lack of acknowledgement, the lack of celebration of diversity, the lack of inclusion, the lack of working together. But it's also happening on other levels too. So if it's happening at the national level, it's also happening at the state level, at the town level, at the family level, at the individual level. And so we can use what's happening in the United States as a metaphor for ourselves, for how are we denying parts of ourselves? Where can we be in better partnership within ourselves or within our relationships or within our families or within our work teams? Who have we been leaving out of the conversation? And to me, this card is really saying all of that. It's really saying that partnership is the way forward. Wherever you are right now in this month of May 2021, partnership, not exclusion, not overwhelming, not overpowering, but really being receptive to the diversity and being inclusive. So if this is resonating for you and you want to be more like the horse with that love and power, open heart, partnership, then the exercise that I recommend for all of us, and I'm certainly going to go through this process myself, and it's really hitting me on the personal level. Where have I been making part of myself wrong? And how can I approach that part of myself differently? And what part of myself is making myself wrong? So as we're going through our lives and working through whatever we're working through, and in the process becoming better, more evolved, more aware, more grounded, more heart-centered human beings, we need some level of self-awareness. So the questions that I'm going to ask myself this month and that I invite you to ask yourself is, who have I been holding at a distance? Who am I not partnering with? And that could be within myself, that could be within my family, that could be within my work team. You could take it to whatever level you want, but ask the same questions, right? So where have I rejected or judged some part of myself as other or wrong or not included? That's what's really being played out on the national stage here in the United States. And I know people all over the world are watching this play out. It's not that this is an isolated incident. This is happening all over the world. It's very prominently featured right now in the United States, but it's a level of the same issue happens on every level. So it's on the big stage, but it's also happening on the little stage. And if we can heal that otherness, that separateness inside of ourselves, then we can bring that to the next level. That inclusion, that partnership, that embracing, that receiving, that openness. And that's what partnership is. And that's what horses bring to partnership. They're, as a species, they're amazingly open, aware, sensitive, powerful, intelligent, loving, generous, playful. You know, they bring all of these qualities to everything that they do. And we can bring that to everything that we do. And if we want to bring that to our personal growth, then we ask the questions inside of ourselves. What part of myself have I been rejecting? What part of myself have I been not listening to? What part of myself have I been not inviting into the conversation? Right? Using all of those things happening outside of us as a metaphor, and to see that that's happening inside of us as well. Or if, you know, what's more urgent for you right now is a situation within a family, who have you not been listening to? Who is not included in the conversation? Who are you not partnering with? How can you reach out to that person and partner with them and invite them in? And what happens when we bring partnership is we bring that love, that glue, that power, and our hearts open up. And that's when we become unstoppable, when we are propelled forward by the force of love and connection and openness and partnership, that's when we become unstoppable. If your work situation is untenable or uncomfortable, ask yourself, who have I been avoiding? Who am I not talking to? Who am I not including in the conversation? How can I partner with more people more effectively? This month is all about partnership. And so I invite you to ask yourself those questions at whatever level is appropriate for you. Personally, I'll be really focusing on that personal level, that individual level, because I feel like that's where my edge, my personal growth edge is right now. But I think that I'm already seeing places where I can be more receptive, more inclusive, more curious with the other members of my family that can bring situations more harmony, right? Like there's not real discord, but I think we can have more harmony. And I think asking these questions from this point of view is a super valuable way to approach things. Like, where am I thinking I'm the boss? Where am I, not listening, not understanding, not reaching out? And this is what we do in a way in the Animal Wisdom Circle every month. My Animal Wisdom Circle, we connect with an animal, and that animal is our guide and our teacher for the month. So we look at everything we do through the lens of the wisdom of that animal. And that's what I'm really inviting everybody to do this month, through the perspective of the horse, and especially the perspective of partnership. How can we bring together? I think of that old song, "Come on, people now, smile on your brothers. Let's come together now, and let's find new ways, new levels of partnership in every aspect of our lives, within ourselves, within our families, within our communities, within our countries, and between our countries." If there's one thing we've learned from the pandemic, it's that we're all connected, that we cannot think that we're somehow separate from anybody else anymore. And partnership is such a beautiful way to move forward together, and celebrating the diversity of backgrounds, experiences, perspectives, and being more and more inclusive of all of that diversity. I mean, that's the beauty of being alive, right? Like having all of that diversity. So I think I'm going to stop right there with the horse, because to me this feels really full and complete. And if we were inclined to, sorry, I got a little itch on my nose. If we were inclined to, we could work with this horse wisdom for the whole month. So one of the things that I do after I do these readings is I'll put the horse right there on my desk. You can't really see that, but it's just right here on the shelf next to my desk. And so every time I come into my office, I see that horse. So if you have a picture of a horse somewhere, well, you'll see it maybe on your screensaver on your phone or your computer or your tablet or whatever, or you have I don't know, a horse tattoo, I don't know, or a horse in your life. Let that just be a little reminder of like, wait a minute, how am I being in partnership? How's that partnership thing working out for me this month? And just keep bringing your mind back to that question of, how can I be a better partner? I feel like that is rich. That is gold. There's gold in them there hills of partnership. And I think that this can be an ongoing practice, certainly for this month. And that's how I'm going to stay on track with the horse, is just to keep that little reminder out for myself, to just check in and look. And even as I'm talking, in the back of my mind, I'm going, oh yeah, there's that, there's all these places. To me, this is why we're alive. We're here to share our gifts. We're here to learn our lessons. We're here to become more and more of the truth of who we are. And we do that by dissolving the patterns that hold us separate, apart, and living in suffering. And anything that is really disrupting our peace and our harmony, anything that is upsetting us, that is causing us tension, tightness, isolation, withdrawal, anger, lashing out, any of that on any level. It doesn't have to be extreme, but that is keeping us separate. Um, and that's what we're here to heal and to learn better ways to be ourselves. That's not our truth. That's not resonating with the truth of who we are. That's a conflict, a tightness, a constriction, a clash within us. So looking for those places, bringing love to those places, and then bringing more and more of the truth of who you are. And those are the two things. That's what it all boils down to. Share your gifts and learn your lessons, heal your life, become your best self. And life is a continuing process of that. And for me, having the animals as my guides and teachers on that journey has been beyond enriching, beyond enlightening, and some of the most satisfying things I've ever done. So I invite you to join me this month with the horse and the topic of partnership. And let's see where we are at the end of May on our partnership journey. How can we invite more partnership into our lives? So that is my forecast for May. That's my invitation to you. That's your mission, should you choose to accept it. And of course, I would love to hear from you. Go ahead and put a note in the comments below about what the horse is saying to you, where partnership is, how you would rate yourself on a scale of 1 to 10 on how good of a partner you are now. And let's go and rate ourselves again at the end of the month. And hopefully we've gotten at least just a little bit better at partnership, because partnership is the way forward. That's what the horse has to share with us today. And that's where we need to move individually and collectively. So I hope you'll join me on this journey. I'd love to hear from you. And I look forward to seeing you next month. And until then, take the horse with you. Be the horse. Bye, everybody.